I'm John Felt, and this is the Merschman Seeds Ag Weather Briefing, April 6, 2019. I wish I had some better news for you all, but I put out a trend alert a couple days ago about a turn to some colder temperatures coming ahead. And in addition to that, I think I don't have the best news as far as either soil temperatures, soil moisture, or even flooding. So let's get started with this briefing. A lot to talk about. Okay, so first off, let's look at precipitation over the last week. And I guess I started off with sort of a bleak opening. So maybe the good news is that over the last week, we didn't have a lot of precipitation over areas that have already been wet. Generally speaking, over the upper Midwest, where we've had a lot of flooding, at least there hasn't been any rain on top of the melting snow, and that's a positive. And there's not a whole lot of water content of the snow on the ground. You can see here that this is what is left on the ground. It's still about 1 to 4 inches in this small area here, and that's going to melt over the next day or so. So we're going to get all that snow water equivalent into the rivers, and it's working its way downstream. So the Missouri River has quieted down the first pulse of water coming through. But now the upper Mississippi is quite active, with red being moderate, and especially this area in purple. This is major flooding all the way down to close to St. Louis. Southern part of the lower Mississippi here is also quieting down. This wave is attenuating. This area is quieting down, but I'll be talking about in the briefing, as far as rainfall goes, we have a lot of rain expected over that area as well. So the Mississippi River is going to be under pressure for either continued high flows or maybe even higher flows in some spots. Now, temperatures over the last week were generally below normal, or not a whole lot below normal, but maybe about 3 degrees below normal in most areas of the middle U.S. So right now what we have is we have the jet stream analysis. We have an area of low pressure here aloft, and when I have this coloring, that is indicating atmospheric energy, and that's usually reflected at the Earth's surface by a weather system. So we do have a weather system coming through at the current time this weekend, and there'll be another one towards the middle part of the week that are going to be the weather producers this week. Now, what do we need? Well, we need some sustained warm temperatures to dry our soils. You can see much of the western, northern, and parts of the central Corn Belt soils are wet, especially in these areas in blue. Not so much the eastern Corn Belt. Eastern Corn Belt is in better shape. It's pretty close to normal, a little bit above. This is what I like to see this time of year, light green. I don't have a whole lot of areas that are extremely dry. Parts of Tennessee at the current time is, but other than that, this is the area of concern, the area in blue, dark green and blue. We would like to see some warmer temperatures and drier conditions, and that's not what we're going to get. It doesn't look like. Now, as far as soil temperatures go, you can see we had some northward progression of the 50-degree temperatures over the central core of the U.S. into Arkansas, into Oklahoma and Kansas, still lagging elsewhere. The yellow is in the 40s. So we have a ways to go to really warm up those soils. And again, the pattern that we're in doesn't look really conducive to that. So it does look like we're going to continue to lag. Okay, so let's talk about the forecast here. And I want to point out that we're going to start with this area in blue, or area in brown, right here, and that means that the jet stream just briefly through the middle part of the week will be above normal. Then we see that area of blue. Look at that area in blue right here. The jet stream is going to dip right here, a very sizable dip here. That's that trend alert that I put out last week, and that's going to usher in a fairly prolonged period of below normal temperatures, and that's not the best news that we want to hear. You can see that here where we start out with this really warm temperatures this weekend into the early part of the week. It's going to be just what we need, but then look at that blue. Initially quite cold, but even after that below normal. So it looks like right through days 14 below normal temperatures once this goes through, and that takes us right through April 20th. Now, as far as precipitation goes, it looks like we're going to have two areas of more significant precipitation. The most significant precipitation is going to be over the south central U.S., over the lower Mississippi. And I know we have a lot of ag regions here, so we're going to have water coming down the Mississippi and more precipitation coming in from tributaries. So these rivers will stay high, the lower Mississippi. And then we have another area here in the upper Midwest. Now, what we need to watch here is this right here. Right now, some models are showing some very heavy snow. Yes, snow. This is Wednesday and Thursday with this storm system here over parts of the upper Midwest, and this would lots of snow if this model's right. Now, I don't want to get overly concerned with this yet because this is early. This will change to some degree, and I will be following up with this as we get over the next several days. If this occurs, it's going to melt very quickly this time of year, even with that colder air in place. This time of year it's going to melt. That's going to put pressure again on the upper Mississippi for yet another flood wave coming down later this month. So let's just keep an eye on this for now, and we'll see if subsequent models keep that as snow. Now we go for the next 10 days. I just wanted to show you where the hot spots are going to be. From precipitation, this area right here looks like it's going to be the most significant rain. That will help Tennessee, that's somewhat dry, into Kentucky, but this up here is the band of possible snow. In the middle, maybe not so much. So we look at the 6 to 10 day outlook here. What we have is we have the cold air in place, and it goes right through the 14 days. So I know you're in tune to temperature, so it looks like starting middle of this week, right through the 14-day period, it looks like below normal temperatures. Maybe not excessively so at times, but still below normal temperatures. And precipitation, it doesn't look like it's going to be necessarily all that dry either. It doesn't look necessarily all that wet, but it does look like occasional periods of showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two. I wanted to give you an example. This is Des Moines, and I might from time to time put this in just as an example. And it shows how temperatures get up to 77 on Monday, 70, boy, it's looking pretty good. South winds, but then look at this. Chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday, 52, 46, a high of 41 by Friday. That's certainly not going to, and look at that, 31. That's certainly not going to warm up those soils. So as far as risks go, we do have a risk for below normal temperatures, significantly in blue. And then as far as the heavy rain, I think we're going to have to watch from the ag regions, Kentucky and Tennessee, and then the south central U.S. So unfortunately, that's not the best forecast I can give you. It looks like the flood threat's going to continue. I think we're going to get into a pattern that's going to be colder than normal and occasionally wet. This weekend, showers, then quite warm is what we're looking for, but it's not going to last long, unfortunately. And that trend alert I put out looks like it's going to verify with cooler temperatures, colder temperatures moving in that are going to extend for the rest of this week into next week. And it does look like we're going to have to watch for this midweek snow. That's this week's forecast. If you ever have any questions, I mention this every once in a while, you can always email me, John, John, at bluewateroutlook.com. Or if you have something that you'd like me to cover that I'm not, let me know that. Or if you like my forecasts, if they're helping you, send me an email too so I know I'm on the right track. Have a great week.